Hey guys, I just wanted to jump on here to say that this video was recorded a couple weeks ago. It was meant to be uploaded at the beginning of last week, but my internet was off for about a week. So even though this video is a little bit behind schedule, it still is a good beginning gardening tour to show off kind of the pre-season. So hope you enjoy watching. Alright guys, this is just a kind of a beginning of the season COVID garden tour. Hello y'all, this is Valerie at Pisces Mountain Farm, and I garden in Zone 6A in the mountains of West Virginia. Yeah, right as the time of year hits for starting all the lovely yummy seeds for my garden, my whole family gets COVID. Everyone else pretty much got over it really quickly. Everyone else in my household. Me, however, it's, I want to say, day 8, and I'm no longer running a fever during the day, but I'm still very, very exhausted. Like, I have to do things in spurts. But at nighttime, my temperature spikes back up to fever level. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. It's really, really, really hard because my mother is going in for a medical procedure and I can't go be with her. With my temperature still spiking up at night, I just don't want to take the chance. And besides that, they probably wouldn't let me in the hospital anyway. Sorry, my puppy was barking. Every time I start talking, he starts to bark over there. So when it comes to seed starting, since I've been so tired, what I've been doing is, like, I'll take an evening and I'll fill up a tray with dirt. And by the time I'm done with that, I'm too tired to do anything else. My dog won't stop barking. I think I'm going to have to walk down here. So on another evening, what I will do is I will write my tags. And by the time I write all my tags for that tray, I'm tired and worn out. And then once that's done, like on a third night, I'll plant that tray of seeds, and that's all I can have the energy to get done. And as you can imagine, that makes the whole seed starting process take a really, really long time. I had been doing a temperature test for about a week previous to this, but I'd moved my Lisianthus out into my greenhouse, and the temperature got down to about 17 this night. But about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, the electric went out. So I was up taking medicine and getting a drink, and the electric goes out. And I literally could not make myself run out here and grab my Lisianthus. I did not know how many hours it would be out, but it did end up dropping to where my greenhouse got to about 19 degrees because the electric was off for about 4 hours. Well, some of those didn't make it. Some of them looked kind of bad. Some of them looked like they might pull through. Well, since then, the temperatures, that's like the last really low temperature drop we've had in quite some time. It's been ranging between 50 and 75 degrees for the daytime temperature, and between 35 and about 50 for the nighttime temperature. And this was just a freak. It wasn't freak. I mean, the rest of the country at this time was being covered in snow, so we got pretty lucky. I want to say this was last week, but my time is kind of off. I'm not really, my head's still real foggy and fuzzy. But anyways, I decided to plant out these Lisianthus, and I guess I will go show you those now. We'll go look at those together. As you can see, some of them look like they're going to survive. And then I have other ones like this that looks like it might not survive. And Like, for instance, this one right there, it's got a little bit of green, but that one's probably dead. So I just put my Lisianthus out here, the ones that got hit, because I had other trays that were in my house. That was just like a test tray. I wanted to see how it did out there, and I just could not get the energy to go get the tray. And some of them survived those low temperatures, and some of them didn't. I would say the weakest ones are the ones that are dying, the ones that were in the worst shape in the tray at the time, and the ones that look the best are the ones that are surviving. I have this pink dandelion here in bloom. It may look white on my camera. It is the palest, most soft pink. I've been waiting. I planted it last year, and the bunnies ate the blooms, like the buds back. So this is year number 2, and I've been waiting 2 years to see it bloom. But it's so beautiful. Right now I want to talk about the plants that I tried to overwinter last year, the brassicas and the onions. Put them in this little bed out here to see what would happen. And as you can see, nothing survived but weeds. I've planted brassicas and stuff out here before, and they have overwintered. But this year around Christmas, we got a cold snap that was way colder than what we normally get. It got down to, the wind chill was negative 35. The wind chill was negative 35, and it does not regularly get that cold here. So I knew that whenever that particular cold snap happened, because it lasted for days, but I knew that they probably wouldn't survive. There really isn't anything to show you here except for the fact that it's full of weeds and nothing made it. Alright, next, while I'm out here and I've got a little bit of energy, I would kind of like to show you the roses and the, what are they called? See, this is what I'm talking about, fuzzy brain. What are they called? I keep wanting to say gladiolus, and that is way not it. They're a shrub that gets big hydrangeas. I want to show you the roses and the hydrangeas I moved. I don't know if you remember, but I had a mini rose over here that came in 3 pieces, and I replanted the 3 pieces. And we've got a lot of good growth on it. Here's the second one. A lot of good growth. And the third one is back here. It has no growth. But those all were in the same hole and sold as the same plant. And let me show you this one over here that I had to cut way back. This is the rose that I cut way back. And as you can see, it's got a lot of healthy new growth. It's been treated for black spot. It's looking really good. This little hydrangea is getting green. This is one of the smaller ones that I got in plug form. This is a hydrangea I got on clearance at Lowe's, and it's got green right here. It's coming back. Those are ones that I transplanted. This is another rose I moved. And when I dug it up and moved it, it honestly wasn't showing any signs of life. But I dug it up anyways because sometimes that's the way roses look, and they're perfectly fine. Its root system looked healthy. However, I don't think this particular one's going to come out of it. This one down here, on the other hand, has a bunch of green. Well, I guess right now it's burgundy growth, but it's got leaves and stuff coming out. Now this is the one that I brought from Huntington, from my old house, from my mother's house. And as you can see, it also has new growth coming. Now this down here is the last hydrangea that was from a plug. And I was worried about this one because it didn't look so great when I moved it. But as you can see, it has a little green bud right here. At least I hope you can see it. It's like right there. It looks like everything that I have planted out here with that one rose on this side of my greenhouse is going to make it, and that one little tiny rose that was in the pot sold as one plant, but there were actually 3. Those are the only 2 things that aren't going to make it. And the rose that's over here by my greenhouse, if it doesn't survive, I'll just go to the nursery and find me something pretty to put there. And the little one that was in the pot with the other 2, they're all the exact same, so it's not as big a loss because the other 2 that are surviving are the exact same thing. Okay, I guess now I'll kind of take you in my greenhouse and show you what's going on there. When I go in here, if there's any little tips or tricks I can think of, I will definitely let you know because I am learning. This is my first year having These are brassicas and stuff that I started before I got sick, and they're way over needed. Well, it's brassicas and a few flowers, and they're way past needed potting up. See, this one even got leggy. What I'm doing is I'm going ahead and hardening them off so that way they can just go in the ground, because there's no sense in potting them up at this point. I'm just going to put them in the ground here in a few days. So this is my greenhouse right now, and I got the rest of my Lisianthus out here that'll probably be going in the ground soon. I have onions here that, like everything else, got started a bit late. Some ranunculus, some more Lisianthus. These right here are my tomato starts that took me 1, 2, 3. It took me 9 days to get all these planted because I would literally fill up a tray one night, make the tags the next night, and then seed the next night. I did that with my peppers as well, but they're setting in there by my stove, my wood-burning stove. And when they germinate, they'll get moved out here because it's warm enough for them out here, but the nighttime temperatures, I think, would slow down the germination because it wants to, with my heater, it's remaining between 40 and 55 degrees at night, depending on how warm it is out. There's just a house plant that is perennial to it's perennial to zone 7, but I didn't want a chance putting it out because I'm in a zone 6. But it's definitely warm enough for it to be out here. Okay. This right here is highly important. You see it's 91 degrees in here, and that's with the door wide open and a fan blowing. And one of my vents open because we got to put in the winter time, if you get the beeswax or the paraffin handles that open your vents, they're called several things. You're supposed to take those out in the winter to help the longevity. And so we got this one put in, and when we were putting this one in, we dropped the pin and we couldn't find it. So we just decided we would get something else to use as the pin. We've got other things laying around. But then we ended up finding the pin, and we just haven't got it put in yet. These automatic vent openers, do yourself a favor. Just go ahead and buy them before you put up your greenhouse. Put them in as you're putting this particular section in, because it will make your life so much easier. You can do it after you've got the greenhouse put in, but it's going to make your life a whole lot harder. Just get them and do it when you're putting them in. But those things are lifesavers because you can see with the door wide open, it's 91 degrees in here, and it's only 60 degrees outside today. And if I did not have that, if I did not have those, these plants out here would fry. If it's a sunny day and it gets about 60 degrees, it's going to be 90 to 100 degrees in this greenhouse, even with that vent open. So come out here and definitely open those doors up if you if you get a lot of sunshine. Mine's in a very sunny place. The next thing about this greenhouse is we invested in one of these right here. And what it does is you can set it to, as you can see mine right here, I have the outlet. What you do is you can plug your heat or your cooling unit in it. I've got my heat in it. I just leave my fan running all the time. So as you can see, whenever it is 40 degrees, the heater kicks on, and it kicks off when it's 65 degrees. That has helped tremendously with keeping the temperature more stabilized in here. Otherwise, every morning I would have to run out here and unplug my heater, and then in the evening make sure I remember to plug it back in if the temperature is going to drop. Well, this way it takes care of it for me. It just comes on and off based on what temperature I have that set on, and so far it hasn't dropped below 40 degrees in here, which, you know, a lot of plants might not like it at that temperature, but they're not going to die at that temperature either. Once I get tables and shelves and stuff, this will be set up a little differently. I am going to be adding more trays as I get the energy to plant more stuff, but as of right now, filming this video is probably all I'm going to get done for the day, and then it might take me another day or two to edit it and get it up, because that's just my life right now. I will say during this, when I was at the height of my sickness and I was in my head, I knew that I was late and I'm just tired and I didn't feel good. I still don't, but I didn't feel good. There was part of me that's like, why are you even bothering with this? It's just, you don't have to do this. But that's it. I kind of do have to do it. I feel compelled to do it. I'm talking about growing stuff, growing things. There was just part of me that was just so ready to give up on everything. It made me go into a little bit of an existential crisis. And I was just questioning life and the pointlessness or the point of everything. So I don't know if anyone else has experienced that, but it kind of filled me with this existential dread in a way. All right, let's walk back here and look at what I've got winter sowed. I don't have any sprouts yet, and I don't have as many jugs as usual. But I've got some Cappuccino Rudbeckia, some Perennial Baby's Breath, Sweet Annie, Rosamond Agastache. I don't know if that's how you say it. Huckleberry. Oh, I do have a huckleberry sprout. Can you see him or her? Let's see. You see that? My first sprout is a huckleberry. At least I think it's a huckleberry. I guess it could be a weed. Let's see. Ooh, that one's waterlogged. What's in here? It looks like I forgot to punch holes in the bottom of this. Oh. Ugh. I'm going to have to do that. And maybe replant. This one is gladiolus seeds. This is ornamental oregano. This one is Viper's bug loss. This one is, what is this one? Hardy kiwi. This one right here is chocolate Cosmo. That one is Regina Alpine strawberry. That one is Clarkia. This one right here is Dragon Head Balm. This one, my camera went off on me, so I don't know where I left off. So White Soul Strawberry. I'm not sure what that one is. Maltese Cross. Orange Tom. Floris Verbena. Chinese Houses. And Money Plant. Alright, let's carry this one up here. Because I've got to poke holes in it. And hope and pray that it's not too late. So I've got to poke holes in that and then hope and pray that the seeds haven't drowned already. I'm going to take you and show you is my top field because we have gotten some compost. I haven't done this. My hubby did this for me, but he got some compost moved up there. And it's not finished yet, but I really haven't got to see it. So I want to see where we're at right now. Oh yeah, I kind of do want to show you this too, since we're passing it. Remember how I copiced my elderberry and I cut it all the way back? It's getting new growth. So, this elderberry has been here for a really long time and it's got a really, really strong root base. I would not suggest you do this on a plant that's not very old. Maybe be a little bit more, I don't know, maybe be a little bit more aware of what you're cutting back and don't cut it back all the way. But you can see it's got growth there and it's got growth there. Like I said, if it's a new plant and it doesn't have that big strong root system to push new growth back out, you could kill it potentially if you cut it back the way we did. But we've done this before to this particular plant and it kind of just refreshes it and gives it new strong growth because this plant was dying out. It had a lot of brown dead growth. Yeah, I'm happy to report that has new growth. So let's walk up to the field now. Okay, that's where he's gotten to. You can kind of see the rows. Right here, and right there. This has been layered with H sawdust, peanut shell, leaves, horse manure, some organic time release, fertilizer, and now compost. Can you see all this stone? Because we had it excavated up here and leveled for the eventual high tunnel, it took any topsoil. Our topsoil's rocky too, but not this rocky. So we are literally having to build, and this will be rebuild the topsoil. And this will be the third summer that this has been flattened. We didn't grow up here at all last year. We kind of let it rest and put the H sawdust on it and let it just set up here and start to break down. I had to switch cameras because the battery on my other camera died and I'm not quite sure I'm in frame. But the last thing I would like to show you is what I'm working on down at the bottom part of my fields. Last year I had tomatoes here, and most of them did get eaten by deer, but we did get quite a few. And this place down here is where I'm wanting to show you. We took all the stakes out down on this end because part of it is sunny enough to grow sunshiny things in, but part of it isn't, so we're kind of going to reconfigure this area down here. We're still going to grow some tomatoes here, maybe a little bit right in this area, and then I'll show you right here. So let's go down there and I'll show you what it looks like down there. We're leaving this, and We're going to wrap all this in deer fencing this year. We're taking this middle area and we're surrounding it with these logs, and we're going to mulch around the rows. And then I'm going to put like a stepping area with some wooden coins through the middle. We were trying to come up with a couple of ways to configure it, and we decided we'd get most growing space this way. This area here does get kind of shaded out, but it gets sun most of the day. So I think that I'm going to put root vegetables here. Alright, we're going to wrap, like I said, we're going to wrap all this year so the deer don't get it. And I'm going to stop my rows of tomatoes here. So I'll have this row, let's see, this top row there. I'll have this row, and I'm going to do a double row here. And then I'm going to plant something different down at the bottom. You can kind of see where the rows were last year. Like I said, this will all be wrapped with deer netting. And then the top part of this row, for about the first, I want to say 6 to 8 feet, I will likely put tomatoes, and then the rest of that area will be configured differently. So I will show you that when it happens. Alright guys, this is just a kind of a beginning of the season COVID garden tour. I mean, I know a lot of people get weirded out by saying the C word, but I don't get monetized anyway, so it's not going to cause me to be demonetized. So that's what I've got. That's what I'm dealing with. I'm very tired. I'm going to go in and cook dinner, and then I'm probably going to bed. So thank you guys for hanging out with me. Hopefully the next time I see you, I'm feeling a little bit better. It's been really kind of hard. I've questioned so much of what I was doing and what I'm doing. But now that I'm starting to get a little bit of energy back in me, I am so excited, and I can't wait for this new season. And it may not look like it outwardly, but if you knew how exhausted I was and how much energy I'm putting out compared to how exhausted I am, you would be able to see it clearly. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I enjoyed hanging out with you. I'll see you next time.